So we've seen that Buddhism and atheism are incoherent. They don't hang together. They contradict themselves. It's unlivable. And so it contradicts itself within itself, but also in that it doesn't resonate with people. They can't really relate to the fundamental doctrines of what they're supposed to believe. They have to say, "Oh no, we just don't talk about that. We just don't go there. Let's just pretend that, we do have freedom," the atheists was. They wouldn't say it like that, but that's essentially what they're doing. Let's just pretend that we're free and that we can hold people responsible for their actions. Because instinctively, they know they need to do that. And they know it doesn't add up to deny that basic truth of reality that we can all see. That's plain as anything. Same with Buddhists. They know they cannot deny the rightness of desire. And so it just doesn't work. They cannot live like that. And so they deny this most fundamental belief of what they're meant to adhere to. It's unlivable. And Islam, it falls down as a worldview, not so much on coherence, but it doesn't correspond to the truth out there. Everyone knows, can see plainly, if you look at it, the evidence, there's nothing controversial about Jesus dying on the cross. He just did it. And lots of people were crucified. There's nothing surprising about that. But what about Christianity? Well, Christianity is unique in that it coheres internally. You see, the Christian faith, if the Christian faith is true, there are certain things we would expect to see. Now, we would expect to see the world just as it is. It explains why there's suffering and pain and misery in the world. It explains why Christians suffer. You might think, if God's so good, why do his own people suffer? And it gives us all the answers for those things. It explains to us where we come from in a way that corresponds with science. It explains, in fact, it corresponds with science much better than atheism gives it credit for. A very simple example of this is atheism, as a worldview, teaches that everything in the universe came from nothing at all. Christianity says that's just ridiculous. From nothing at all comes nothing at all. To believe that you can get something from nothing, you have to deny everything you know to be true. But Christianity can explain where everything comes from. Because it gives us the explanation very clearly in the Bible. In the beginning, God created. I know people say, well, where did God come from then? But the Bible explains it to us. It says that God is eternal. He never came from anywhere. He always was. Now, it's hard for us to understand that, but as we accept that, it explains everything that we see in the world. It makes sense of the world, of our existence. The Bible explains to us how we can be free, and therefore why we're responsible for all of our actions. The Bible teaches, for example, that God has given us desires, but the problem is our desires have become corrupt. And that's a much better way of understanding desires. It means I haven't got to extinguish my desires. I just need to realise that not all my desires are good and right. And actually I need to consider others with my desires, not extinguish desire. Christianity is coherent internally. It hangs together. That is an amazing thing, because the Bible was written by over 40 different people over a period of over 2,000 years. And it's people that came from different cultures and from 3 different continents, speaking 3 different languages. And some of them were shepherds, some of them were kings, and everything in between. And yet, most of these people, they never met each other. They didn't even read each other's books. And yet, when their writings have come together, it gives us one clear, coherent picture of God. And Christianity, last of all, has corresponding resonance in our own hearts. For those that have found the Lord Jesus, we find him to be every bit as true as the Bible teaches he will be. And so Christianity, as we'll see, as we'll continue to go on and see, It, as a worldview, coheres internally, coheres resonately with our own hearts, and corresponds to external truth. I can very confidently lay a challenge before anyone and everyone and say, can you find a problem with the Christian worldview where it falls down? And you won't be able to do it because it's true.